The call came on a Wednesday morning while I was making breakfast for Emma. She was 6, sitting at our kitchen table, carefully coloring inside the lines of her dinosaur coloring book, tongue sticking out in concentration. "Mommy, can I have the purple crayon?" "Just a second, baby." I glanced at my phone. "Wait, my sister. We hadn't spoken in 3 months." I answered. "Hey, Rach." "Sarah. Hi. How are you?" Her voice had that bright, artificial quality she used when she wanted something. "I'm good. What's up?" "So, I'm having my baby shower on the 23rd. It's going to be at the country club, really nice, about 60 people. Trevor's parents are flying in from Connecticut, and we've invited his whole executive team from the firm." "That sounds lovely. Congratulations." "Right, so, that's actually why I'm calling." She paused. "Trevor and I think it might be best if you didn't come." I stood very still. Emma looked up at me, sensing something in my silence. "I'm sorry, what?" "It's just, look, don't take this the wrong way, but Trevor's family is very traditional. Old money, very conservative values. And your situation, being a single mom, not married, the whole startup thing that never really worked out, it makes people uncomfortable. Trevor's mother specifically asked about family dynamics, and I just think it would be easier if I wasn't there." "Don't make it sound like that. It's one party, Sarah. I'll see you at Thanksgiving or Christmas or something. This is just, it's important to Trevor's career. His boss will be there. These are serious people and I need everything to be perfect." Emma was watching me now, crayon forgotten. I turned away so she wouldn't see my face. "Hey," I said. "Really? You're okay with it? You don't want me there?" "I won't come. Simple as that." "See? This is why I knew you'd understand. You've always been so practical. Not like some people who would make a big dramatic thing out of it. I really appreciate your maturity about this. Is there anything else?" "No, that's it. Oh, actually, can you not mention this to Mom? She'll just get weird about it and I don't need the stress." "Sure." "Great. Talk soon. Love you." She hung up before I could respond. I stood there, phone in hand, staring at nothing. Emma came over and hugged my leg. "Are you sad, Mommy?" "No, baby. Just tired." I picked her up, held her close. "Let's finish breakfast and then we need to get you to school." "Hey, Mommy." "Yeah. You're the best mommy in the whole world." I kissed the top of her head, breathing in the strawberry scent of her shampoo. "You're pretty great yourself, kiddo. My sister Rachel and I used to be close. When we were kids we shared a room, shared secrets, shared everything. She was 2 years younger and I was the protective big sister who defended her from bullies and helped her with homework. Then we grew up and somewhere along the way we became different people. Rachel went to a good state school, got a degree in communications, married Trevor Chin right after graduation. Trevor was everything my parents considered important. Stable job in finance, good family, ambitious in a conventional way. They bought a house in the suburbs. Rachel got pregnant within a year. She did everything in the right order. I took a different path. I got pregnant at 24. Unplanned. The father was someone I'd been dating for 6 months. A graduate student who made it very clear that fatherhood wasn't in his 5-year plan. He offered to pay for an abortion. When I said I was keeping the baby, he was gone within a week. My parents were horrified. Not at him for leaving, but at me for making such a catastrophic life choice. "You're throwing your future away," my mother said. "No man will want you now," my father added. "Not with another man's child." Rachel had been more subtle in her disapproval. "Are you sure about this? It's going to be so hard. You'll be alone." But I wasn't alone. I had Emma and she became my entire world. I'd been working as a software engineer at a mid-sized tech company. Good salary, decent benefits, flexible work-from-home options. I took maternity leave, came back part-time and managed. It wasn't easy, but I managed. Then when Emma was 2, my friend Maya approached me with an idea. Maya and I had gone to MIT together. She was brilliant. A systems architect who saw patterns others missed. She'd been working on an AI-powered logistics platform that could optimize supply chains in real time, reducing waste and improving efficiency by significant margins. "I need a co-founder," she said. "Someone who can build the technical infrastructure while I handle the algorithms. Someone I trust." "That's you, Sarah." "Maya, I have a 2-year-old. I can't do a startup." "That's exactly why you should. You want Emma to see you playing it safe, Or do you want her to see you build something extraordinary? It was a good pitch. It worked. We founded OptiRoute with $200,000, her savings and mine combined. We worked out of her apartment for the first year. I brought Emma to the office. She napped in a playpen while I wrote code. She learned her alphabet on my laptop keyboard. My family thought I was insane. You quit your job? Mom was appalled. You have a child. You need stability. This is some fantasy, Dad said. Real businesses don't start in apartments. Rachel was the worst. I'm just worried about Emma. What kind of example are you setting? That it's okay to gamble with your child's security. But Maya and I built something real. We secured our first client, a mid-sized distributor who saved $400,000 in their first year using our platform. Then another client. Then 5 more. We raised a seed round. Then Series A. Then Series B. Family dinners became tense. Every time I mentioned the company, Dad would change the subject. Mom would ask if I'd met anyone nice lately, as if my value was still tied to finding a husband. Rachel stopped asking about OptiRoute entirely, as if acknowledging my success would somehow diminish her own life choices. 3 years in, we had 40 employees. 5 years in, we were at 120. Major corporations were using our platform. We were profitable, growing, getting noticed in the tech press. And then, 6 months ago, we got an acquisition offer. A massive logistics conglomerate wanted to buy OptiRoute. They saw what we'd built, the proprietary AI, the client base, the growth trajectory, and they wanted it. The number, $320 million. Maya and I owned 65% of the company combined. After investors took their share, after our employees got their equity payouts, Maya and I would each walk away with approximately $90 million. We negotiated for 3 months. Due diligence, legal reviews, structure, terms. The deal was set to close in 2 weeks. The announcement would go out the day after. Standard practice. TechCrunch, Wall Street Journal, all the major tech publications. It was already written, approved by PR teams on both sides, scheduled for publication. I hadn't told my family. Not yet. I wanted to wait until it was final, until the money was in the bank, until it was so undeniably real that they couldn't dismiss it or minimize it. I wanted Emma to be there when I told them. I wanted my 6-year-old daughter, the child they pitied, the reason I was supposedly throwing my life away, to see their faces when they realized what her single mom had built. But then Rachel called and uninvited me to her baby shower. After Rachel's call, I dropped Emma at school and drove to the office. Our building was in Soma, San Francisco, nothing fancy but ours. The lobby had our logo on the wall, OptiRoute, with the tagline, optimizing the path forward. Maya was already in the conference room with our lawyers. "Hey," she said when I walked in. "You okay? You look tense." "Family stuff." "It's fine." I sat down. "Where are we?" "Final signatures today. Wire transfers execute Friday. Public announcement goes out Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. our time. PR is coordinated with the acquirer. We're officially done. Done. 8 years of work, countless sleepless nights, hundreds of pitched meetings, thousands of lines of code. Done. How do you feel? I asked. Maya grinned. Rich. I feel rich. And vindicated. Remember when everyone said we were crazy? I remember. My mom told me I was ruining my life. My ex-boyfriend said I'd never amount to anything without a real job. My college advisor said I was wasting my MIT degree. And now they're all going to read about this in TechCrunch and suddenly remember how they always believed in me. She rolled her eyes. What about your family? I haven't told them yet. Why not? This is huge, Sarah. This is generational wealth. This is Emma's college fund, her grad school fund, her house fund, her whole life fund. I know. Timing. Maya studied me. Your sister's baby shower is this weekend, isn't it? Yeah. And you're going to show up and casually mention you just sold your company for 9 figures? Actually, I'm not going at all. What? Why? I told her about Rachel's call. About being uninvited because my single-parent situation made executives uncomfortable. About being asked not to tell our mother. Maya's expression went from surprise to angry to coldly furious. Are you kidding me? After everything you've built, everything you've accomplished, she has the audacity to. It's fine. It's not fine. Sarah, you're about to be in every major tech publication as one of the most successful female founders of the year. You built a company that's changing an entire industry. You did it while raising a child alone. You're incredible, and your sister treats you like you're an embarrassment. She doesn't know about the acquisition. So tell her. Tell all of them. No. I said it firmly. I'm going to let them find out the same way everyone else does. Monday morning when the announcement goes live. That's cold. That's justice. Friday came. The deal closed. The wire transfers executed. I watched my bank account balance change in a way that made my head spin. $89,400,000, minus the amount immediately allocated for taxes, which I'd been preparing for. Still, the number was surreal. I picked Emma up from school that afternoon. She climbed into her booster seat, chattering about her day. We learned about fractions. And at recess, Tommy said his dad is a lawyer, and I said my mom is an engineer, and he said that's not a real job for moms, and I said yes it is. And then the teacher said we both were right because people can have any job they want. Tommy's wrong, but I appreciate your restraint, I said. Hey baby, how would you like to go to the park? Special Friday treat. Really? Yes. We spent 2 hours at the playground. Emma on the swings, me pushing her higher and higher while she screamed with joy. Emma on the slide, climbing up and zooming down over and over. Emma on the monkey bars, her little face scrunched in concentration as she made it all the way across for the first time. Mommy, did you see? I did it. I saw. I'm so proud of you. This moment, this perfect, ordinary, extraordinary moment, this was what mattered. Not my sister's approval. Not my parents' validation. Not proving anything to anyone. Just me and my daughter happy. Saturday was Rachel's baby shower. I didn't go. Instead, Emma and I had a girls' day. Brunch at her favorite pancake place. The Children's Museum. Ice cream for dinner because why not? That evening my phone rang. Sarah, why aren't you here? Rachel asked me not to come. What? That's ridiculous. Why would she? Ask her mom. I need to go. Emma's bath time. I hung up before she could respond. Sunday I took Emma to Golden Gate Park. We flew kites. We had a picnic. We fed the ducks. She fell asleep in the car on the way home and I carried her up to her room, tucked her in and sat watching her sleep for a long time. This was my life. This perfect little human who thought I hung the moon. Who didn't care about country clubs or executive in-laws or whether I fit someone else's definition of success. Monday morning my alarm went off at 5:30 a.m. The TechCrunch article was scheduled to publish at 6 a.m. Pacific. I made coffee. I sat at my kitchen table with my laptop. At exactly 6 a.m. I refreshed TechCrunch. There it was. Top of the page. Opticane acquires Opterate for $320 million in AI logistics play. Single mom Sarah Martinez and co-founder Maya Patel exit 8-year-old startup in massive deal. The article was thorough. It detailed our founding story, our growth, our technology, our impact. It quoted Maya and me from a pre-written statement. It included photos, the professional ones we'd taken specifically for this announcement. And there, in paragraph 3, Martinez, a single mother who founded OptiRoute while raising her now 6-year-old daughter, represents a growing wave of female founders disrupting traditionally male-dominated industries. My phone started buzzing. One notification. 10, 20. LinkedIn messages. Emails. Texts from people I hadn't heard from in years. And then a call from Rachel. I let it go to voicemail. Another call. Mom this time. Voicemail. A text from Dad. We need to talk. Call me immediately. I turned my phone on silent and made Emma breakfast. By 8 a.m., my phone had 147 notifications. By 10 a.m. over 400. Maya called. Have you seen Twitter? We're trending. Trending, Sarah. I saw. Wall Street Journal picked it up. Forbes. Business Insider. We're everywhere. And the response is, people are calling you inspirational. There's already a hashtag. Hashtag single mom founder. This is insane. Yeah. You don't sound excited. I am. I'm just processing. Have you talked to your family yet? No. They've definitely seen it by now. I know. I finally checked my messages. Rachel had called 7 times. Mom 5. Dad 3. Even my Uncle Mark, who I hadn't spoken to in 2 years. The texts were increasingly frantic. Rachel, Sarah, call me right now. Rachel, I can't believe you didn't tell us. Rachel, Trevor's boss saw the article. He asked about you. Do you know how embarrassing this is? Rachel, you made us look like idiots. Mom, Sarah, sweetheart, we saw the news. This is wonderful. Call me. Mom, why didn't you tell us? Mom, Rachel said you two had a misunderstanding. Can we please talk about this? Dad, saw the TechCrunch article. Impressive. We should discuss your financial strategy. I have some contacts who can help. That last one almost made me laugh. Now he had contacts who could help. Now that I didn't need them. I responded to none of them. Instead I called my lawyer Richard Chin. I need you to draft a trust for Emma. Education, healthcare, housing, everything she'll need. I want it ironclad. No one can touch it except her when she turns 25. Already on it. I assumed you'd want that. What about the rest? Set aside what I need for living expenses and Emma's immediate needs. The remainder goes into diversified investments. I want to meet with your recommended financial advisors this week. Done. Sarah, congratulations. You built something remarkable. Thanks, Richard. Next I called Maya. Want to get lunch? Celebrate properly. Absolutely. Want to go somewhere ridiculously expensive? No. Let's go to that taco truck near the office. The one we went to every Friday when we were broke. She laughed. Perfect. The ambush came Tuesday afternoon. I was at the park with Emma when they showed up. Mom, Dad, and Rachel. They must have figured out my routine because there was no way this was coincidence. Sarah. Mom's voice was bright, forced. What a surprise. Emma looked up from the sandbox. Grandma. She ran over and Mom scooped her up. This was tactical. Use Emma to prevent me from leaving. Hi, Mom. Dad. Rachel. I kept my voice neutral. We've been trying to reach you, Dad said. I've been busy. Too busy for family? Rachel's voice had an edge. Too busy to return calls about your massive success that you somehow forgot to mention? Emma, sweetie, why don't you go play on the swings? I suggested. But I want to stay with Grandma. 5 minutes, then swings. Deal. Deal. Mom set her down reluctantly and Emma went back to her sandcastle. The four of us moved a few feet away, still within sight but out of earshot. $320 million, Dad said. That's what the article said. The company sold for that. Maya and I split roughly a quarter after investors and employee equity. So you personally made enough. I made enough. And you didn't think to tell your family? Mom's hurt was genuine. Sarah, this is huge. This is life-changing. Why would you keep this from us? When would I have told you? At Sunday dinner, which I'm never invited to anymore. At Rachel's baby shower, which I was specifically asked not to attend. Rachel flushed. That was, I can explain. You said my single-parent situation made people uncomfortable. You said Trevor's in-laws are executives and traditional. You said I'd be an embarrassment. I didn't say embarrassment. You didn't have to. It was implied. You've been implying it for 6 years, Rachel. Every time you talk about Emma and me, there's this tone. This pity mixed with judgment. Poor Sarah, knocked up and abandoned, struggling with her little computer job. That's not fair, Mom interjected. We've always supported you. Have you? I looked at her. When I got pregnant, you told me I was throwing my life away. When I started OptiRoute, you told me I was being irresponsible, gambling with Emma's security. When I mentioned the company at dinner, you changed the subject. When I talked about growth or funding or clients, you looked bored. We didn't understand what you were doing, Dad said. You didn't try to understand. You didn't ask questions. You decided 8 years ago that I was a cautionary tale and nothing I did could change that narrative. This is ridiculous, Rachel said. You're being dramatic. We're happy for you. We're proud of you. Isn't that enough? No. I said it quietly but firmly. Because you're not proud of what I built. You're proud of the number attached to it. You're proud because now I'm successful in a way you can brag about. Now I fit your narrative. Sarah. Trevor's boss asked about me, didn't he? At the baby shower. Rachel's silence was confirmation. He saw the article. Maybe he'd heard of OptiRoute already. We have major clients. He asked if you were related to Sarah Martinez, the founder. And you had to say yes, the sister you didn't invite because I made people uncomfortable. How did that feel? It was humiliating, Rachel said quietly. Good. Mom gasped. Sarah. No, Mom. I spent 6 years being humiliated by this family. 6 years of being treated like my life choices were something to be ashamed of. 6 years of watching you celebrate Rachel's conventional success while treating mine like a hobby. You don't get to be upset that I let you discover the truth the same way the rest of the world did. We're your family, Dad said. Family tells each other things. Family supports each other. Family shows up. Family doesn't uninvite you to baby showers because you're inconvenient. Emma called out from the swings. Mommy. Push me. Coming, baby. I turned back to them. I need to go. Sarah, wait. Rachel's voice cracked. I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry I uninvited you. I was wrong. Trevor's family, they're intense, and his mother made some comments about family image, and I panicked. I thought it would be easier if you weren't there. I didn't think about how that would make you feel. You didn't think about me at all. That's the problem. Can we fix this? Please? I don't want my baby to grow up not knowing their aunt. That hit differently. The baby. My future niece or nephew. An innocent person who didn't deserve to suffer for adult conflicts. I don't know, I said honestly. I need time. How much time? However much I need. And Rachel, if you want a relationship with me going forward, it can't be conditional. It can't be based on whether I fit into your social narrative or whether my success makes you comfortable. It has to be real. Can you do that? She nodded, tears in her eyes. I'll try. Trying isn't enough. Either you see me as I actually am, all of it, the successes and the struggles and the choices you disagree with, or you don't see me at all. There's no middle ground anymore. I walked away before she could respond, before any of them could respond. I went to Emma and pushed her on the swings, listening to her laugh, focusing on the only thing that mattered. Behind me, I heard my family leave. No dramatic goodbye. They just left. Wednesday morning, I woke up to an email from Trevor. Subject: personal apology. Sir, I wanted to reach out directly to apologize. I was the one who pushed Rachel to uninvite you from the baby shower. My parents are old school, and my mother made comments about family presentation. And instead of defending you, I let Rachel take the fall for a decision that was ultimately mine. I've read about OptiRoute. I've read about what you've built. I showed the articles to my parents and they're mortified. My mother specifically asked me to convey her apologies. She said, and I quote, I judged someone's worth by their relationship status instead of their character and accomplishments. That was ignorant and cruel. For what it's worth, my boss was incredibly impressed when he learned you're Rachel's sister. He asked if you'd be willing to meet with him about your AI logistics platform. Apparently his company has been looking into similar solutions. I told him I'd ask, but I'd understand if you told me where I could stick that request. I'm sorry. I was a coward and I let my wife take the blame for my prejudice. Trevor. I stared at the email for a long time. Then I forwarded it to Maya with a single comment. Thoughts? She responded immediately. Take the meeting. Not for him. For you. OptiChain doesn't have exclusive rights to your expertise. Consulting could be huge. Also, make Trevor's boss pay premium rates. He was right. This wasn't about Trevor or Rachel or revenge. This was about Emma's future, about building something sustainable, about leveraging what I'd learned into the next chapter. I responded to Trevor. I'll take the meeting. Have him contact my assistant to schedule. This is business, not personal. Thursday, I got a call from a Forbes producer. They wanted to feature me in their Self-Made Women series. Would I be willing to do a profile interview? I'll need to think about it, I said. I have a daughter. Privacy is important. We completely understand. We can work around that. Many of our subjects keep their children out of the public eye. But Sarah, your story is inspirational. Single mother, tech founder, major exit. You're exactly the kind of example young women need to see. I'll consider it. Send me the details. After I hung up, Emma wandered into the kitchen. Who was that? Someone from a magazine. They want to write about Mommy's company. Because you're smart? I guess so. You are smart. You're the smartest mommy ever. I pulled her into a hug. Want to know a secret? Yes. You made me smart. Everything I learned, Everything I built, I did it because I wanted to make you proud. You're my inspiration. Really? Really? She hugged me tighter. I'm always proud of you, Mommy. Even when you're not in magazines. That night, after Emma was asleep, I sat down and wrote an email to my parents. Mom and Dad, I know you're hurt that I didn't tell you about the acquisition. I understand that from your perspective, it looks like I deliberately excluded you from something major in my life. But from my perspective, I've been excluding myself from your lives for years. Because every time I tried to be included, I was made to feel like I didn't measure up. When I was pregnant with Emma, you told me I was ruining my life. You didn't help me prepare. You didn't celebrate with me. You mourned my choices like they were tragedies. When I started OptiRoute, you didn't ask about it. You didn't learn what it did or why it mattered. You dismissed it as a phase, something I'd abandon once I got serious about life. For 8 years, I built a company while raising a child alone. 8 years of late nights and early mornings, of pitching investors while Emma slept in a carrier, of writing code during nap times, of balancing client meetings with parent-teacher conferences. It was the hardest thing I've ever done and the most rewarding. And you never asked about it. Not really. Not in a way that suggested you actually wanted to know. So when the acquisition happened, when I had this massive life-changing success, why would I tell you first? So you could claim credit? So you could suddenly decide my choices were valid? So you could brag to your friends about your successful daughter, the same daughter you've been pitying for 6 years? I don't need that validation anymore. I know what I've accomplished. Emma knows. Maya knows. The people who actually supported me through this know. If you want to be part of my life going forward, I need you to understand something. I don't need you to be proud of my success. I need you to respect my choices, even when they don't align with your expectations. I need you to see Emma not as evidence of a mistake, but as the catalyst for everything good in my life. Can you do that, Sarah? I didn't expect a response right away. I sent it and went to bed. Friday morning, I woke up to a text from Rachel. I told Trevor's parents the truth about the baby shower. That I uninvited you. His mother wants to apologize in person. Would you be willing to have coffee? Just the two of you, no pressure. I almost said no. But then I thought about the baby Rachel was carrying. My future niece or nephew. Did I want to build walls that would affect that child? I texted back. Maybe. I need to think about it. An hour later, Mom called. Sarah, I read your email. Okay. You're right. About all of it. Your father and I, we had this idea of how your life was supposed to go, and when it went differently, we couldn't adjust. We saw Emma as a complication instead of a blessing. We saw your company as a risk instead of an opportunity. We were wrong. Mom. Let me finish. Please. She took a breath. I'm proud of you. Not because you sold a company for a lot of money. I'm proud because you took a situation we told you was impossible and you made it work. You raised an incredible little girl while building something from nothing. You proved us wrong, and instead of being happy for you, we made you feel like you had to do it alone. I did have to do it alone. I know. And I'm sorry for that. I can't change the past, Sarah. But I'd like to be part of your future. And Emma's future. If you'll let me. I looked out the window at the San Francisco skyline. Emma was still sleeping. The apartment was quiet. This moment, this offer of reconciliation, felt fragile, like something that could shatter if I handled it wrong. I need you to understand something, I said. Emma and I are a package deal. You don't get to have a relationship with me while still treating my daughter like she's somehow less than because of how she came into the world. I would never. If. Not directly. But in the way you talk about her, the way you talk about our life. Like we're brave for making the best of a bad situation instead of just living our life. Our good life. Our happy life. You're right. I'll do better. It's not just words, Mom. It's actions. It's showing up. It's asking questions. It's being present in a real way, not just when it's convenient or impressive. I understand. I want to try. Hey, we can try. After I hung up, I sat for a moment processing. Then Emma padded into the living room, rubbing her eyes. Morning, baby. Morning, Mommy. Can we have pancakes? Absolutely. And Emma, how would you feel about seeing Grandma more often? She brightened. Really? I like Grandma. I know you do. I think we're going to work on being a better family. Okay. He climbed into my lap. Mommy, when I grow up, I want to start a company too. Yeah. What kind of company? A company that makes playgrounds, with really good swings, and slides, and monkey bars that aren't too hard. I laughed. That sounds like an excellent company. Will you help me? Always. That's what moms do. The Forbes article came out in March. They titled it Building While Raising: How Sarah Martinez Turned Single Motherhood into Entrepreneurial Fuel. The photo shoot had been Emma's idea. She wanted to be in it, so we compromised. They photographed her from behind, flying a kite with me, our faces turned toward the sky. The image was beautiful, hopeful and forward-looking without exploiting her privacy. The article was honest. I talked about the hard parts, the exhaustion, the judgment, the moments I doubted myself. But I also talked about the joy. About building a company that mattered. About raising a daughter who believed she could do anything. Rachel's baby was born in April. A boy, Nathan. I was in the delivery room. Rachel had asked me to be there, and despite everything I said yes. When I held my nephew for the first time, Rachel said, "I want him to know his aunt. I want him to grow up seeing that success comes in different forms. That families come in different forms. That the only thing that matters is love and effort." That sounds good, I said. Trevor and I are making changes. We're reevaluating a lot of things. His parents too. They're learning. Everyone's learning. That's life. My relationship with my parents was better, though not perfect. They came over for dinner once a week. They asked about Emma's school. They asked about my consulting work. I'd taken on 3 clients, all Fortune 500 companies, all paying substantial fees for my expertise. They were trying. That was enough. Emma turned 7 in May. We had a party at our apartment. Her school friends, Maya and her family, my parents, Rachel and Trevor, and baby Nathan. Small, intimate, perfect. As I watched Emma blow out her candles, surrounded by people who genuinely loved her, I thought about the version of myself who'd received Rachel's phone call 9 months ago. The one who'd been told she made people uncomfortable. The one who'd said, okay, and moved on. I thought about how easy it would have been to internalize that. To believe that my life, this beautiful, chaotic, successful, unconventional life, was somehow less than because it didn't fit someone else's template. But I didn't believe that. I'd never believed that. And now, finally, my family was starting to catch up. After the party, after everyone had left, Emma and I sat on the couch together. "Did you have a good birthday, baby?" "The best birthday ever." She cuddled into my side. "Mommy." "Yeah. Thank you." "For what?" "For being my mom. Some kids at school say it's sad that I don't have a dad. But I'm not sad. I have you, and you're better than 1,000 dads." I pulled her close, blinking back tears. "You, Emma Martinez, are the best thing that ever happened to me." "I know," she said matter-of-factly. "That's what you always tell me. It's true every time." Later that night, after Emma was asleep, I stood at my window overlooking the city. My city. The place where I'd built a life and a company, where I'd raised a daughter, where I'd turned judgment into fuel and doubt into determination. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Ms. Martinez, this is Jennifer Walsh from Goldman Sachs. We're assembling an advisory board for our new Women in Tech initiative. Your name came up repeatedly. Would you be interested in discussing a board position? Please call at your earliest convenience." I smiled and put the phone down. That could wait until morning. For now, I was exactly where I needed to be. In my home, with my daughter sleeping peacefully down the hall, with a future so bright it almost hurt to look at directly. I'd built this. Not despite being a single mom, but because of it. Because Emma had given me a reason to be brave, to take risks, to refuse to accept anyone else's limitations. Rachel had said my life made people uncomfortable. He was right. But not for the reasons she thought. My life made people uncomfortable because it challenged their assumptions. Because it proved that success doesn't follow a script. Because it demonstrated that families come in all forms, and love matters more than convention. I'd made people uncomfortable by refusing to be small. And I'd do it again in a heartbeat,